Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And in news that should surprise absolutely no one, the useless national dialogue that's been initiated by President Cyril Ramaphosa in another move to effectively blind the South African public to the failures of the ANC, something they've gotten super good at, by the way. If they fail, they'll either do the one thing, which is to blame apartheid and white people for every and all failures of the ANC, despite the fact that we can literally track the decisions made by the ANC to how the economy is going worse and worse and worse over time. No, don't worry about that. This is all the fault of apartheid. Or they'll do what pretty much every communist government and Marxist government in the history of the world has ever done. They'll come up with useless new initiatives, ways of letting the public know that the government is in fact listening, the government is doing something about it, the government has your back. That's literally all this is. When the national dialogue was announced, most people in the country sort of looked at this and went, wait, what? We're going to spend 700 million? That's right, 700 million on a national dialogue. We already had a national dialogue. It's called elections. That's literally what they are. During an election cycle, you guys, the politicians, make a bunch of promises. That's your side of the dialogue. We then go into a little booth, make a little X, and that's our side of the dialogue. We vote for the people we want, whose dialogue is, as far as we're considered, the best. Why are we being involved in this? We know that this national dialogue will lead to absolutely nothing. It's sort of like the endless commissions that Cyril Ramaphosa launches whenever there's a corruption scandal. The whole point is to basically take up airtime, take up airspace, so that this is all South Africans are talking about, so South Africans don't realize just how crap things in this country has actually gotten. But okay, so the useless national dialogue, which no one cares about anyways, has just suffered a massive blowback, right? And it might actually just, I don't know, it won't kill it because the ANC seems ham-fisted on getting this 700 million rand deal through. Of course, you know why it's 700 million rand. There's a bunch of cadres that is probably catering to this, a bunch of cadre venues that's being used for this. And so they want to make sure that the cadres eat. That's just how it works. I could do the national dialogue for $30, right? We can do a YouTube, we could do a Zoom call. We can just quickly tell Ramaphosa everything that's wrong. But okay, so as it happens, ENCA are the ones to report on this breaking news that's super important to absolutely everyone in the country. But the Steve Biko, Thabo Mbeki, Albert Luthuli, Desmond and Leah Tutu, FW de Klerk, the Oliver and Adelaide Tambo Foundations have withdrawn from the National Dialogue Preparatory Task Team. Now, according to ENCA, the reason they cite for withdrawing from the dialogue is that the dialogue has become, or at least runs the risk of becoming, a government smokescreen. Surprise, surprise. And instead of it being a citizen-led initiative where the citizens take center stage, the ANC is slowly but surely filling up the citizenry with individuals connected to the government to sort of guide our conversations. I'll let you listen to what ENCA had to say about it.
Well, the Steve Biko, Thabo Mbeki, Albert Luthuli, Desmond and Leah Tutu, FW de Klerk and Oliver and Adelaide Tambo Foundations have withdrawn from the National Dialogue Preparatory Task Team. Now, the foundation says that the 15th of August convention has strayed from being citizen-led and risks becoming a rushed government-controlled event. They cite among...
I am shocked, by the way. Rushed? Really? This government rushing things at last minute?
others, the erosion of citizen leadership, loss of meaningful platform for dialogue, and a lack of operational infrastructure. Well, despite this, there remain...
I don't know how this is possible. You're spending 700 million rand on this deal. There should be no lack of infrastructure whatsoever.
...committed to the broader dialogue, but are calling for next week's national convention to be postponed so it can be properly structured.
See, this is the thing. they're still committed to the dialogue. And the reason, of course, is no one in this country appears to take the ANC serious when the ANC says the things that they do, when the ANC makes it clear that they're a Marxist government that only cares about the communist takeover of the country. When the ANC says things like the US can bring their sanctions and their tariffs, we don't care, we'll do what we want, people don't seem to take the ANC seriously. When someone like Cyril Ramaphosa, when he was elected in 2018, said famously that he would rather be seen as a terrible South African president than see the end of the ANC. So, in other words, the ANC above South Africa, people seem to think that these are just slogans. This is one of my main reasons why I highly contest the DA's involvement in this GNU. Because I think from the DA's perspective, and pretty much everyone else in South Africa, they genuinely think that there is an arm or a portion within the ANC that one can work with. A portion that really wants to make South Africa better, and that if you just negotiate with them, they'll understand that Marxism is really bad, they'll understand that their policies are really bad, and they'll change course. Not understanding that this ANC has no interest in doing it. I'm currently working on a video where I will highlight all of this for you guys, going over why the GNU would never have worked, why the ANC chose the DA as the GNU partner instead of going with something like the EFF, which would have been much easier to get their communist stuff through. But I'll have that video probably tomorrow or the day after. For now, all you need to know is the national dialogue suffers a blowback, but they're still committed to wasting 700 million rand of taxpayer money on this useless initiative. Anyways, let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about it. If you want to support this channel a little bit more, you like what I do, and you think other people should see what I do, please consider hitting the like button, hitting that subscribe button. It's literally one button, and if you don't like what I do in the future, you can just click the button again and it's done. And then leaving a comment, letting me know how you feel about the national dialogue. Then a massive shout out to all of the patrons and the YouTube channel members that support this channel directly. If you want to become a member of the channel, just hit the join button below this video or the link in the description down below. As always, be good to each other, be kind to each other, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace.